Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. I'm Will, and I've got my co-host over here, the Greeze. Say hello, Greeze.
If there's a will, there's a way, Will.
Oh, you mean a way for the show to work? Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So what? Tell me about last week. What happened?
Okay.
You did.
I don't want to focus on this at all.
I don't want you to focus on it, but I want to hear a rundown. When I'm on vacation, I don't watch train wrecks.
Well,
I try to get R&R, a little bit of peace, some tranquility, and a lot of anti-Greaseism in my life. And all I know is I got a text from you that said, "You're going to be so proud of me. I planned." And I was like, okay, great. I think I sent you a kissy face emoji because I'm like, yeah, if he's saying that, guaranteed I'm not watching. So I didn't. And then I saw comments on the YouTube stream coming through on like our email.
Yeah.
And it was, it seemed like something happened. What was it?
Well, my therapist said,
you had your therapist on
that
Matt Porter?
No, that
I don't think he's licensed.
That I need to avoid people bringing up trauma in my life.
Was this traumatic?
I was pretty pissed off. I was very upset. Long story short, I worked a really long time, got all these questions, got them in this like game thing. I had to scour like for what seemed like 15 hours because I couldn't find a bad comment on Matt's stuff, which makes complete sense.
Yeah.
And so I texted like, a bunch of people that didn't respond. And then some people
the
responded.
Concept that you were going to do is you're going to have negative comments and people tried to guess if it was
sometimes
podcast
it would
or
be
Porter.
Sometimes it'd be positive, but funny.
Okay. So funny comments and people had to guess whether it was podcast or Porter. Correct?
Essentially, yes.
And then
it was going to be an online game and they would answer and then we would have a winner. And then I was going to give away a whiskey bag to the person who won.
My favorite thing too was that because Matt Porter is universally beloved, except for maybe by one current YouTuber that like put up a whole like mocking him thing that was kind of in poor taste. Well, other than that, which you could have used that,
right?
But that was after the fact.
Porter taste.
Ho ho ho. So then, if you were to take that, that would have maybe worked. But you had to crowdsource fake comments,
100%,
and so which the game
fabricated
in and of itself wouldn't have been. It was fake to begin with. It was the fix was in.
Okay, you're going to talk to me about fake games? Have you ever seen or heard of Mousetrap? That crap is fake. Have you ever played
a single person that's ever played Mousetrap?
That is a lie from the pits of Satan's house, Will.
That it's a game?
No, yes.
I said
that people play it.
No, I said I don't know a single person that's ever played it.
Right.
And you said that was a lie from Satan's house.
Okay, that's not a lie for you. That's a lie for humanity. We all have, except we haven't really played it. We built the thing, we ran the marble through, and it happened, and it captured the flag or whatever it was, the rat, mouse.
Right. It was a mouse. It's called Mousetrap.
Yes.
You ever played Don't Wake Daddy? That was a good game, too. You know that game?
Did y'all play that at family reunions?
Don't Wake Daddy. Don't Wake Daddy was good.
Man, I've been smoking and drinking for 6 hours. Y'all don't wake up, Dad.
I don't believe Paul Brian Bell here. He said on YouTube. And hey, if you're listening, check us out on YouTube at youtube.com/thepodcast.
If you are watching on YouTube, hit that thumbs up and hit the subscribe button.
We'd appreciate
thumbs ups. Freaking money.
So he said, I love Mousetrap. I played it by the book as a kid.
Okay. Well, you're an idiot.
Brian. First of all, did you play by yourself? Because there's zero. We found one person that would play it as the rules intended. No way you're finding two people.
Well,
very difficult.
Well,
said polygraph me.
Pre-COVID, we could play solo, with ourselves and not feel bad.
You play solo with yourself quite often and not feel bad about it, but then COVID upset the apple cart. Right. You started feeling bad about it. I got all right. We're gonna move on.
I got judged during COVID. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got caught.
Got super.
I'm back, baby.
So, where there's a will, there's a way, Will.
So you tried to do this game for people and how to go.
It sucked. Literally nothing worked. I was frazzled. I'm trying to pitch to Porter, and then like I'm still frazzled, and so I'm talking over him, which I know is a normal thing, but I've gotten better at that.
Yeah.
I have gotten better. Right?
Yes. Yeah.
Like considerably better.
I mean, let's be honest. It didn't take much to get better. So yeah. But I'll agree with you.
It's kind of like inflation 8.3 to 8.2, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Probably not. It's still bad.
Sure.
But it's just
right. But it's nominally better.
It moved in the right direction.
Right. Only by an inch.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I didn't want to get political.
No, you didn't. But you did.
I mean, but inflation is that's a global issue.
No one watches 60 Minutes. It's fine. Keep going. So it just did not work.
No, yeah, it didn't work. It was done. It was stupid. So I actually had just to read them. And then in the comments, people were just throwing it.
you couldn't track who was doing what. I think I did pop on for 2 seconds, and I just saw a bunch of like podcast Porter like in the. I'm like, whoa, this looks chaotic. I'm out.
Yeah.
Chad says it was a painful stream. Loved both parties, but it was a disjointed disaster. But you know what I've come to know and love about the YouTube live stream. If it's impending doom, if you're watching someone like live anxiety,
yes,
the numbers are gonna do great,
and I'm already
gonna like it.
Well, and I'm already out of my element.
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't have my safety net right beside me.
Matt Porter's listening, and he said, "You didn't listen to a single word I said." I believe that.
I did too.
Even if it would probably because he was so frantically trying to figure out what was broken that he didn't have.
He's got
the mental capacity to do that. But this is Field George on YouTube said the cover photo hurt my head. That was actually me. I did that before I left for vacation.
100%. Yeah, you set me up to succeed.
I set you up to succeed with that. Let's get weird.
You even did that, except.
It was also kind of like two-faced,
like
he was kind of frowning and you were kind of smirking, so it made like a
it was a little. The one mistake Will did make that did frazzle me is that instead of editing the scheduled post of the live, he just deleted it. So like on the day of, I'm trying to promote and I don't have the image, I don't have the full quality image. I'm like,
you knew days before that I deleted it.
No, I did not.
Yeah,
no,
I would look back at that. It was on. I deleted it before the live on Monday, and you just said, "Did you delete the live?" And I said, "Yes." It was on Monday. You moved it to Wednesday. And you said I moved it to Wednesday. So yeah, you did know for 2 days.
Maybe it was Tuesday.
Maybe it was on Monday.
It
was on Monday. You were sick. I don't blame you for that, but it was on Monday, so there were technically 2 days to remedy that issue. But we're all good. Hey, I will commend you though. You already got the prizes out for our Labor Day giveaway.
Yeah,
and people received them, so that wasn't a scam,
right?
If y'all are on here,
trying not to be super scammy right now.
Yeah, if y'all are on here watching and you participated and won and received a part of our Labor Day giveaway, comment if you got your prize, because wouldn't that be nice?
So in allocation season, Will, I'm typically on better behavior.
Okay,
not best behavior, better behavior.
I don't even know why. Like karma? Is that what you're looking for? Like you're on Santa's list and you don't want to be on the naughty list.
I don't want to I don't want to offend anyone.
Yeah, you don't want to read an ad and get on Santa's naughty list.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. MyPillow.com. They got great coffee.
My coffee.
I haven't tasted it, but apparently if you have acid problems.
Which you do. You actually have some of the worst acid reflux I know. You get heartburn so bad.
I was just doing a bath upstairs earlier.
You were just taking a bath.
No. I was getting it ready for my kids.
I know.
And there was a towel on the ground, and I must have hiccuped or something.
Oh no.
And like this area in my neck, like in my Adam's apple area, for those that are listening and don't understand what I'm doing.
Your throat is where that is.
Yeah, my throat receptacle area. It burned to smithereens, and there was a significant amount of concentrated dew or whatever it is.
Dew?
What is it? What is it called?
Acid?
No, but like not bile, stomach juice.
Acid. Yeah, stomach acid.
Stomach juice. Well, it wasn't fully. I mean, it burned Okay,
Right.
maybe it was acid.
That's what's in your belly.
Maybe. I don't know. So
why do you think they call it acid reflux? It's the acid getting sent back up.
It was way different than just acid reflux. Like acid reflux, I could sit here and open my mouth and it would go. You can actually hear it come up, and it doesn't burn as much for some weird reason. But this one just freaking. It almost went up my nasals.
If you're accurately describing acid reflux, I can confidently tell you I don't have that. I've never heard my throat release a demon like that. So I thought maybe I've had some acid reflux before, a little touch of heartburn. Now it's something else. I'm misdiagnosed. If it's anything like what Greeze has, where the great Satan inside him is gurgling his way up down his throat.
Oh, golly. That got me.
Yeah,
that got me real good. Okay, so we outside of last week, which I'm not going to relive trauma, and I'm going to have to talk to my therapist about it. I'm like, you know what? Will actually brought the trauma back,
and she'll be like, he's a bad friend.
Well, she's going to be super pissed because she knows how much I've worked trying to not anxiety you.
Yeah.
All right, Will. We have big whiskey news question mark. We just have news. We have there's some headlines coming out of certain events that happened this past weekend, like Bourbon Beyond. We were looking through all that stuff. I'm like, hey man, there's some pretty good meat here that I think we could have some
banter on,
some lukewarm takes on.
I think you did a good job. You pulled kind of 3 newsy items that kind of came out from over the weekend.
I thought they were interesting.
That you thought were interesting. So I think we can go into these a little bit and talk about it, see what we think here.
Did you preface this with, if these bomb, you have plausible deniability?
No, I said you did a good job pulling the 3 that were interesting.
And then you were like, we'll see how it goes.
No, I was not meaning to belittle you. I was
sorry, you have me uber focused on therapy right now.
I was praising you. I was giving you a ye old pat on the back, but
needs to.
So the first one,
the definition of praise,
is that there had been a contest for a new cocktail.
Makers.
Yeah, but for bartenders, for mixologists to create a cocktail to be named after Louisville, and this had been going on for several weeks. And then they basically they or maybe it was only at Bourbon Beyond. I'm not sure.
The last round. So it was like 16 people narrowed down to 5. They went to Bourbon and Beyond, and they had that competition. A single person won utilizing Knob Creek Bourbon. Do you have that?
Yeah.
The makeup of that cocktail.
And this is the winner is going to be called the Louisville. So, and the mayor announced it. It was like a whole thing. They're trying to compete with the fact that there's a Manhattan, that they needed a Louisville cocktail. And so this is what's in it. And the bartender won like a $15,000 cash prize, which is pretty significant.
Got to talk about that.
So this was 1.5 parts. So 1.5 parts Knob Creek bourbon, a half a part Chinar, 3/4 of a part dry curacao, 3/4 of a part lime juice, and 1/4 part cinnamon syrup. So you've got 1.5 ounces of Knob Creek, a 1/2 ounce of Chinar, which is it's like an Amaro. You've seen it. It's got it's like a dark bottle. It's got a red label with an artichoke, and Chinar is CYNAR, and it's written across it. But it's a bitter liqueur, an Amaro, very unique.
Not to be confused with vermouth.
No, that's a fortified wine,
right?
So that's completely different.
I get them confused, but I'm just telling other people not to get them.
Yeah, so it is interesting because it's like
I just group them into an area that I don't understand the name.
Oh yeah. If I've never heard of it, I
just put it in a little bucket, and then sometimes that bucket I pull out the wrong word.
So the Knob Creek, obviously good. It doesn't say. I'm guessing it's the 90 proof, like the standard 9 or 100 proof rather, the 9-year standard, because it doesn't say single barrel or something.
Yes, I believe that they probably picked standardized pours that could easily get in bars to sell such product.
Right. The Chinar, but I've made a black Manhattan before, which calls for Chinar in it. It gives it a more herbal kind of funkiness to it. You know, like I like a Boulevardier, which is essentially a Negroni, but with whiskey instead of gin. That has Campari, which is a different bitter liqueur.
So those are Sea-Doos.
A Boulevardier, yeah. No, you're thinking Bombardier. A little bit different, but
yeah, because you can't combine both of those.
No, because they both end with DA.
Well, no, I was just saying one is a vehicle and one's alcohol.
Oh, I see what you meant. I think you mean you can't mash the words because they both end in the same thing.
The Bouvier.
Yeah, like we could say Greeze and Will make wheeze.
Yeah,
you can't say Boulevardier and Bombardier because unless it's Bombardier.
You need to quit while you're
done.
Will.
Yeah,
I mean, where there's a will, there's a way. Will.
So,
but not this.
The dry curacao is gonna have some citrus to it. The lime juice kind of throws me off a little bit with the very herbal Amaro.
Now get to the cinnamon.
And then the cinnamon. So if you were to take just the lime juice, the cinnamon syrup, the curacao, and the bourbon, it almost could be like almost a tropical tiki drink. And then you add the Chinar in it, and that's gonna mess with it and get it just a whole different direction. I'll probably try to make this.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I don't know if this is representative of the city though. Like this is an interesting.
Oh, no. We are gonna get there.
Okay.
First things first. On paper, that cocktail, I agree with the article that put it out. Dear Lord. I agree with the article.
Yeah.
I agree with the article that put it out in saying that it was complex. Or there was a lot of diversity into it.
Yeah, it says
you've got the nuttiness of Knob Creek.
They called it seemingly complex yet approachable.
Yeah, complex. So you've got the Knob Creek, which number one, like in old fashions and stuff, if I'm making my own with bitters, I actually do like the 100 proof Knob Creek version because you are going to get a little bit of nuttiness to it, as well as like a citrus and stuff like that. I think it's a unique combination. I love that combination. But then you start adding, to the nuttiness of that, you've got cinnamon coming out. You've got lime juice coming out. You've got curacao, which is heavy orange,
right?
Which the curacao that I have is like 80 proof.
Yeah. I feel like most are going to be in the 70 to 80 range. And it's not going to be higher than that because it's
essentially a liqueur. Yeah. However, a lot of liqueurs too could be like
40
30
proof.
40 proof. Yeah. But so I'm going to circle back to that right now. That is 2 ounces of liquor in that drink that probably is only 3 ounces. Like you're looking at 2/3 like 80 proof or above.
Yeah.
Essentially in that drink, which I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I'm approved.
I approve.
One
big question I had when I first read the article was whether it was a Beam Suntory sponsored contest.
Yeah. You were like, I bet it's
Knob
sponsored.
Creek, but because we've seen those. There's like the perfect Manhattan competition that was sponsored by Woodford Reserve. Like,
so
all of them had to have Woodford in it.
Yeah.
This wasn't. So
now that was their own event. It wasn't like some other publication had sponsored that.
Right.
However, we do know that publications get a sponsored thing. They run a thing of like a perfectly crafted old fashioned. It's not saying that they won a competition. It's just saying this is a really great old fashioned.
This was the tourism board, I think, was the ones who kind of came up with this. But I didn't know if maybe Beam Suntory had a hand in helping market it with this wasn't a magazine or something that was putting this on. So it wasn't
100%.
Yeah.
No, but this was sanctioned by the city.
All that to say is that Monk's Road was used by one of the competitors, one of the finalists, rather.
Did I say sanctioned by the city?
Yeah.
Sponsored.
No, that's fine. You can say sanctioned. That works.
It.
Yeah.
They sanctioned it?
Yeah. Officially sanctioned event. Yeah.
Fair.
Pinhook was used by one of the finalists. Wild Turkey was used by one of the finalists, and Woodford Reserve was used by one of the finalists.
So of that, it wasn't all
within one house
from Kentucky. Now, my first question that when I saw this, and I was like, I just don't understand if the end goal, was to have a drink called Louisville, why would you not start with the distilleries that are literally in Louisville? Now, Bernheim in Louisville, Heaven Hill product stuff. You've got the Evan Williams stuff, the heavy Heaven Hill, heavy Heaven Hill, in Louisville. But there's more. And so
Brown Foreman, you have Michter's, you have a lot of Diageo, Bullet, Blade and Bow. You've got Nulu. You've got the younger brands, the Peerless. Those, but honestly, it doesn't bother me that it's called the Louisville. Louisville's a hub for drinking and for cocktails and for bourbon, regardless if the distilleries are themselves there.
I know. I just thought it was odd.
It's not like Jim Beam is that far down the road.
30
minutes.
I understand. I just thought it was odd. I was like, if you're going to call it a Louisville, and
what's also interesting to me,
I would probably surround that and bring that in a local manner.
I would argue
it's probably a stock issue
that the cocktail itself that's the Louisville is tied to one brand, but the whole thing was that they wanted it to be like a Manhattan or a Moscow Mule,
which will utilize different products.
Yeah, those aren't pigeonholed into one bourbon or
but if
one
you want
rye,
the true, because Knob Creek's profile is so like pinpointable, in a way, as far as now Heaven Hill also kind of swings that way.
I think that it should have been something simpler, though. Like, sure, this won a cocktail competition, but if you're wanting something to be representative of a city, like you can go get an old fashioned at any place, even if it's a crappy old fashioned.
And I want it with Bullet. I want it with Buffalo Trace.
I'm just saying, but you can go get a crappy old fashioned at a comedy club, like, because they'll have the ingredients. Having dry curacao, chinar, and cinnamon syrup eliminates a large swath of bars.
Right. They're probably going to have a pre-made mix in that scenario.
No, they're not going to have it. They're just not going to carry this. That's if the entire point is to have a cocktail that is going to be ubiquitous with the city and you can go get it anywhere in the city, this is not going to be it. This is not going to end up on menus. This was a fun thing. They gave $15,000 to the person.
Yeah.
Fun little promo. It got a write-up in the Louisville Courier Journal. It got a little bit of press, but I don't think it goes anywhere from there. I bet the guy who won $15,000 will put it on the bar menu at where he works. Let's see. Was
it a lady? Was it a lady?
Sorry. It's S.C. Baker. So initials. So I don't.
Okay.
Well, it is a she. So that's on me. I apologize.
Yeah.
For my
I don't know why I remembered that. That's crazy.
But
I don't normally remember details.
She is a bartender at Expo. You know why? Okay, there she is. But I saw this guy holding it up.
Yeah.
And it said Danny. There's a guy in the article. It says Danny Wimmer enjoyed the winner.
Right.
I just saw Danny Wimmer, the winner, and I'm like, this is a dude. He won. That's me trying to dig myself out of a hole. But I mean, I'm good for S.C. Baker for winning.
Heck
she
yeah.
did a great job.
It's incredible. There was a big field. There was a lot of, a lot of judges in the industry in that, which was really cool. And she won. And now she's in charge of creating a signature cocktail for the city of Louisville. That's a big deal. 2, really quick, $15,000. Is that game show taxed?
Yes, that's income. It's
like a okay. So she got
it's prize money.
$9,000.
Yeah, you'll get whatever, like the gambling W9.
Yes,
like there's a form for that for prize winning.
Yeah. Okay. So anybody listening right now, okay, I need everybody to grab all of your losing scratch off lottery tickets and send them to SC Baker so she can write off all of those losses.
Yeah, but this wasn't gambling. There's 2 different categories of income.
I don't care. You can write it off.
Anyhow, first of all, that'd be fraud because she didn't spend it. So,
well,
first of all, Andy Payne said, "Ain't nobody got Chinar." False. I have a bottle of Chinar because I make cocktails with it.
You are literally like Auburn fancy, and I say Auburn fancy because
Sim Salzman also likes. He says, "I love Chinar and the 70."
Yeah.
So
Sim probably went to Auburn. He was fancy too. No,
he's
like,
fancier
like,
than I am.
no, it's like
For sure.
there's this whole culture of like, man, I used to pound beers. Now I'm into Curacao and Shinar.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And veneer. What is it called? Ambervada?
What?
Amberana?
I don't know what you're talking. I don't know what word you're saying.
Vermouth. All of these things. Will, you're into
All
them.
right.
And I don't.
I like
alcohol. Whiskey and
alcohol.
bitters.
I'm so sorry. I like alcohol.
Yeah, like
Shinar is a bitter.
Well, I mean, it's not my standard bitters.
Oh.
So whatever.
I'm sorry that you're poor.
Anyway, congratulations, SC Baker.
Maybe you shouldn't have spent so much on the bottles behind you and saved up for a big boy bottle like Shinar.
You paid for half of it.
Oh, no, I did not pay for half of this.
Yes, you did.
For all of the stuff in here?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah, you did.
No, you've lost a lot of my money, but this isn't it.
Right.
This wasn't here.
This is not a monetary issue.
That's fine. If I own half of these, I'm literally packing up half of them with me and we're walking out of here.
I said you paid for half. You don't own half.
Wrong again, my friend.
Paid
All
for
right.
it
So
in
that was
therapy.
that was a fun little thing. Can you pour me a drink?
Yes,
I'm you poor host.
I don't hit that first. Not a good.
So that was the first thing. The other is gonna be,
dude, can we kill this together?
Yeah, I love that.
It's in my top 5 whiskeys.
Tell people that are listening what it is.
All time. This is an Abraham Bowman limited edition whiskey. This is 100 proof. It's about 11 years old. And this was finished in the Torriga and Merlot wine finished, or the casks, Merlot and Torriga. Is that am I saying that right?
Yeah, I believe that. That's the way I read that word.
Yeah, I mean, if it had like Day France behind it, but no, it's like Tour Georgia.
I think every time my brain wants to say Tortuga, and I'm like, I want some turtle wine.
Totally. This is top 5 pour for me of all time. Of all time, period. This thing, dude.
Oh, Andy Payne, thank you for the super chat. Says, I'm more of an Amaro Montenegro man myself. He was trying to get himself back in my good graces after mocking me for saying I wouldn't have Shinar.
So I don't know why I'm picking right now as a special opportunity, like you talked about in your video, but I missed you for a week.
We can talk about that too.
I want to wait.
No, I'm saying after we do these two other things.
I want you to nose this right now.
Honestly, it's one of my favorite pours. Oh my gosh. And with all that airtime and like just that much left in the bottle, just a scotch, as I say, a quarter inch in the bottom of the bottle, which is a 350 or is it 375 or is it?
It was a 375.
Yeah. Tiny little bottle, tiny little thing.
Yeah. 375.
The fact that it's been open and it hasn't just disintegrated and degraded. I think that we put a lot more stock in things degrading fully. Like, I don't think most things,
well, it depends on the seal.
Within several years go bad. I honestly don't think that you're just going to get something that just loses all of its luster.
So this seal is pretty good on this cork.
Yeah,
it's pretty beefy.
But it doesn't matter because there's a ton of air already in there. If the thought process were that the more air in there is going to just oxidize it and degrade it significantly, I do think it changes nominally, but in a climate controlled basement, not getting direct sunlight. I think there was I believe it was Breaking Bourbon, that the blog site that does great reviews. We don't know them personally, but I've always went to their stuff for as a resource. They do great reviews, have normally the SRP. It's very easy to read, clear to read. But I've always appreciated their site. They did an experiment years ago about airtime, sunlight.
Yep.
And they did this whole thing and did taste test and very.
It was like 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, right?
Very methodical, and no, like 6. I think it went 6 months a year. It was a long-term process. There was bottles that were fresh crack, quarter drunk, half drunk, and then just like a little bit left in direct sunlight.
I'm half drunk.
Out of the sunlight, like just all these different variables, and they did a really good job with it. And I think what their conclusion was the biggest effect on flavor and taste was sunlight. The direct sunlight is going to degrade the quality and integrity of the bottle much more than the air. There will be variants, but I don't think it really, unless you're talking about like 20 years and a pretty crappy seal, I think for the most part, it's going to be sitting pretty.
The integrity of this is good. You can definitely kind of, at least from a previous experience that I've had, it feels like it's over softened.
The nose is fantastic.
Oh, the nose
is
is
100
stupid.
proof. What's the proof on it?
It's 100 proof. Yeah.
You also drank something cask strength before this.
No, yeah. Okay.
No, I'm just saying that like you could have knocked it down.
I'm talking about kind of, well, I mean, I guess I would apply as well.
I would say some of the finished qualities have maybe dissipated, which that wasn't something addressed in that experiment.
Yeah.
The finished qualities could degrade maybe a little bit more. I'm not getting it. There was a little bit more of a robust wine flavor.
Yeah.
That's not there as much, but still a remarkable pour. One that I will never forget how good it is. But you've had this bottle open for almost 6 years.
Almost 6 years.
Yeah. So
you downed yours fast. I bought three of them. I got three of them.
I didn't down mine fast at all.
You didn't?
No.
You just did it before 6 years?
Yeah, but it was still like 4.5 years in. Like I only relatively recently, it was right before I moved. So 2019. So it was probably 3.5 years in. That I shared the last little bit with my sister.
I'm just glad this is documented on the last pour of that bottle.
Yeah. No, it's
by the way, I'm ISO if anybody.
Yeah, and so this was the Abraham Bowman finished in Tariga and Merlot barrels.
Yeah.
So.
Killer. So good. I don't even know what this retails for, or not retails. Jeez. This is not available. This was, essentially released 5 years ago.
I honestly, I don't think it's really on a ton of people's radar.
No,
it wasn't
a 375 too. It's a weird.
Other than like the quality control at Sazerac, like there may not be bottles of that left. It was a small bottle. It wasn't like a high demand trade bait. Because it was a half bottle.
Right, a lot of people drank them. I could just. It wasn't Pappy or BTAC.
I could see or birthday bourbon. Yeah,
it wasn't Pappy, BTAC, or birthday bourbon. Full Proof didn't come along,
and
these things were getting drank back then.
I could also see it being, even if it was available, I could either see it being just not for sale. Like someone's like, okay, $2,000 because you're never going to see this again. Or like a reasonable, like these are $500. Like,
right. I would pay $500.
Reasonable right meaning for something that is infinitely more rare. Like I don't know a ton of people that ever had that bottle. Other than us, I don't know people that really got that one.
Yeah.
The one that was after that was like gingerbread or something.
But I will say, if they got it, it wasn't necessarily like, oh, I'm going to talk about this.
Yeah, it wasn't a flex bottle.
Right,
really
exactly right. It's not BTAC. It's not birthday bear. It's not Pap.
It was something that was posted on a local store. It's like, hey, we just got this in, and you swung by and picked them up. Like
you were out of town
a little bit later, so it wasn't even. Yeah,
I got there decently quick. But there were three. I bought all three of them.
And I think you gave one, let someone buy one of them.
Yes.
The third one.
Yeah. Might have been Chris.
Brandon.
It might have been Chris or Joby.
Probably was Chris. And he actually, if we wanted to know what, like 4 years ago, he probably sold it to some poor little old lady that didn't know any better.
Yeah, and then bought it back for half of it.
And then you bought it for more. Wait, I bought it off you.
And then he took a sip of it, and then he sold it for more than the original did.
The old sip tax. Oh! Before we move on, because we have two more news items we want to cover.
Two.
Yeah, you had three. We've only talked about one.
I know.
Wednesday night of this week, we are finally doing the bar night that got canceled when you got sick the first time before you got COVID. So this was the stomach bug before the appendicitis before COVID.
Dude,
it was a 6-week run that never felt like it would end. Like I thought you were a goner. So but it was probably back in February, right? Yeah, it's been almost another year.
Yeah, it's been a year. Crap, what was it? Dang, keep going.
So anyhow, we're doing bar night. We are filming it. We're doing it Wednesday night.
Oh, we tease it to patrons today.
Yes, but we are going to do it. So the theme is going to be 107 plus proof. So higher proof bourbon.
Anything
Goes. It's got to be a bourbon, and it's got to be over 107 proof, and it's gonna have to be. It's a product. It's not like
can it be finished?
You can do whatever you want. It's got to be a bourbon.
Can I TTB it?
If I say straight bourbon, then it can't be finished.
You didn't say straight bourbon.
I know. I'm thinking about amending the rules.
Why would you do that?
Just to screw with you.
That's
the entire point of psychology.
We need to open up. We need to open it up.
All right. If it's finished, we know it's Greeze. Oh, but it was Kentucky L rebarreled. That being said, we're filming this Wednesday night of this week. So we're live right now on Monday, 2 days from now. But I'm going to make Greeze hunker down, nose to the grindstone. And next Monday night at our normal 8 p.m. slot.
Yep.
We're not going to be live talking right here. We're going to punch that show live. So for the first time ever, people are going to get a 5-camera shoot look at Barn Night as the days of old. For those of you that are new, Barn Night was always our most popular podcast episodes. They got derailed when Chris Thomas gave up whiskey for a minute, and then COVID happened, and now he's back into whiskey. So I think we can do it appropriately. But he's
kind of back into whiskey.
He's back into it enough to have some whiskey.
Enough to have like 12 bottles that we don't necessarily right now know.
So what we do is we go together. It's me and Greeze and our buddy Chris Thomas and our buddy Joe B. And what we're going to do is get together. Brown bag. First of all, Brandon Rice, you literally right before you did a super chat, you said money is on Will, and then you had to correct yourself and give $5 to correct yourself. My money is on Greeze, LFG, bro.
Yeah, that's pretty.
You like confused? All right, it's just like your fantasy football teams this year. You don't even know what you're doing.
That's the most Brandon Rice thing I've ever seen.
Absolutely. So we go back to we get together. We all bring. USC.
I love Bama. I mean Bama.
We go and we all take a blind bourbon. In this case, bourbon. We pour it double blind. I pour them into glasses that are marked on the bottom with colors, and then Greeze goes. It randomly creates the order from those sets. We distribute them. We compete live. The cool thing after the fact is that you'll be able to put up in the lower third whose whiskey we're drinking.
Oh yeah.
So people, as they're going
that'll
along,
be super fun.
Yeah, I thought about that today.
So the podcast feed would be limited.
Yeah.
So if you're listening on our podcast feed,
you'll be able to watch the video of it at youtube.com/thepodcast, but we're going to run it live in this time slot. So it could end. Sometimes they end up being 2 hours. For your sake,
please no.
I've had to edit them for years, so I really hope it's 4. I hope Greeze has to really.
I'm giving it an hour and 15 tight.
No,
like hard out,
0 chance. Then first of all, when have you ever had a long form filmed thing where I'm always the one like hard out, and you're like, we'll do another 45. We'll do a solid 45. And those videos never get edited. Well, by the way, they're still sitting on his hard drive.
I want to be able to cut like that garbage out at the end, just but we don't need it. Even though it'll probably be the funniest content, and I'm gonna have to edit it in.
Yeah, it's got to remain in. People got to get the Barn Night experience. They got to really get this.
I understand. I think Dan Shook is going. This is Dan Shook's favorite thing we've ever done.
Barn Night.
He's literally called me and said, bro, y'all's Barn Nights were like...
They were the best.
They were the best.
Legendary.
We're going
to try to start bringing them back, but the 5-camera shoot is going to be super fun.
Yeah.
We're going to roll it live.
Oh, I was going to tell
we're going to hop in the chat and chat along, and as people watch it, it's going to be kind of like a premiere, like a movie.
Yeah.
Watching Barn Night.
Right.
Should you do like a trailer intro? 0 chance you have time for that. What if you get some footage and you get Patrick to do like a fun trailer intro?
I'm good. I'll make it happen. I can make a 45-second easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Oh, yeah. That's all we need.
Yeah.
Just to kind of make it like a movie. I don't know. It's fun. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, no, I am too. I've already made a thumbnail. It was super easy. I just put a picture and text on it.
Yeah. I don't think we're using that thumbnail.
Oh, I already pushed it to patrons.
Well, that's not the thumbnail.
No.
Right, you just put words on a picture.
No, we're gonna make a legit thumbnail, Will.
Right.
We have news items, Will.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna tell our podcast people though, okay?
Yeah.
It's time to also sub and like us on YouTube so that you can actually see what bottles. Podcast people, your favorite episode, definitely numerically speaking and data speaking, is this episode. Okay? Are these episodes? Watch it. You'll know what we're drinking while we're drinking it.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Freaking awesome. America. Where there's a will, there's a way, Will.
Matt Porter did say, he said, bar nights are the best. # Old Greasy Batch 3. I guess he's trying to bait you into doing an Old Greasy Batch 3, but we are not doing Personal Blitz.
Old Greasy Batch 1 won. It won.
Like,
so hard. Equal parts George C. Stack.
So Nate, so this is funny. So Nate 0661 said, which Kentucky Owl batch was finished? So
it was double barreled.
The Greeze
finished
Greeze
in White
loves
Oak.
to play shenanigans. And so we did a bar night where everyone had to bring something finished. That was the whole theme. And Greeze brought, I think it was batch 9. I'm pretty sure it was Kentucky Owl batch 9. If Kevin Hasselwander is listening, he would know for sure. But it was either batch 9 or 10 because it was before Dixon left, and I don't think it was batch 8. I would bet money it was batch 9. But what he did was dadgummit. Well, he talked with Dixon. He said, Dixon, is there any finished whiskey in these? And Dixon's like, well, like theoretically, by definition, because he uses rebarreled whiskey. That's part of his fun. That's part of what 2XO, 2 times oak, is going to be. Right. He loves manipulating the whiskey with a second new charred white oak barrel. It's not finished in the way we were thinking of, in a port barrel, in a Cabernet barrel, in a cognac barrel, Armagnac barrel. It was finished in the fact that it had a secondary barreling. It just happened to be new white oak. So we would not have thought of it as that. And that's why it was shenanigans. And why, when we drank it, we're like, this just tastes like a fantastic bourbon. It doesn't taste like it's finished in anything. And it's because it wasn't indeed finished in anything. It was finished in new. Kevin Hasselwander is in.
Are we back or are we on computer?
No, it'll be on. It'll Nope. Damn God.
Did we have that the whole time?
Kevin Hasselwander was correct.
Yes.
That it was batch 9, or he correctly he confirmed what I said. It was batch 9. He has a
I love that he fact
spreadsheet.
checked himself.
Oh, he fact checked me. I said it was batch 9. I said if Kevin Hasselwander was here, he could tell us. And he went to the spreadsheet because he has a spreadsheet. And he's firing it back up because bar night's coming again.
Dude, okay, so Kevin Hasselwander, I need you to go ahead and figure out March 9th through March 12th of 2023, because I swear on my life, if I don't get to see you in the flesh at Whiskey Weekend, batch 5 this year, I'm going to go to a dark place. It's darker than this nook. Okay? I love you. I need to meet you. Go ahead and talk to your wife right now. In fact, clip this, send it to her, tell her that I love her, but I need you for like 3 or 4 days.
Typically, when you tell people's wives that you love them, it has the opposite effect of what you're hoping for.
Okay, that's fair. Tell her I hate her.
I mean, let's just keep the
hey, tell her hey,
extremities.
Tell her I would really enjoy the presence of your husband.
He's a good man.
Sweet husband. He's a great man.
Yeah.
He's done a lot for our country and for his kids.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that is, but
I'm raising them.
Pretty sure.
Raising them right.
Nobody's died yet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
he's doing pretty good.
Yeah. All right. So do you want to get back to those news items?
Yeah. I just poured this Bridge Series American wheat whiskey. Very grain
We've
on
had
the
this
nose.
before.
I know, but I revisit it. Did we say this was sweet tea on the palate?
I don't remember.
Like it is
there was one
the
of them we
closest
liked,
thing
and
to
there was
sweet
one
tea.
that we two or something that we did not like.
We got this little taster bottle or whatever. You can't really see the logos, but it's the Bridge Series.
This was
J.K.
the,
Williams
was it the
Distilling.
old Zephyr one we didn't like, I think.
Yeah, there was one that we very grainy on the nose,
Okay,
but the palate is
I'm gonna tell you
freaking
something.
great.
I'm gonna tell you something. One we didn't like and one we did like.
Yeah, that's fair.
Context clues. One is almost full and one is almost gone. All right, so the other news items real quick.
Yeah.
Are we gonna we got a 15?
I love
to
the
get
fact
through.
you're just like, it's gonna be 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, I mean, mostly we've talked about other items. So this is okay. The Kings of Leon
Yes.
are joining the roster of
Celebrity
brands. They have a new line of whiskeys that they announced at Bourbon and Beyond.
There's two things.
Available this year. Limited collection Kiamiki comprises of a 5-year rye, an 8-year rye, and a 19-year bourbon, all of which will be available purchased later this year.
Okay.
Named after the southeastern Oklahoma River, where the members of Kings Leon attended annual family
Where's
reunions.
it sourced from, Will?
Bardstown-based Willett Distillery is partnering with the group
Right.
on this
Did
project.
they pull that 19-year-old product from Willett?
I don't know.
I mean,
Theoretically, if they're partnering with them, it's probably they somehow got it. So, I mean, I would assume that it's
this could quite possibly be the best celebrity brand that could hit the market.
You know what is interesting though is that they're doing a Boo Rye with 5-year rye, 8-year rye, and 19-year bourbon.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
No, I just think it's going to be interesting. Let
me go ahead and taste.
I guess color me skeptical on it already.
Here's
color
the deal.
me skeptical on it.
Kings of Leon probably tasted that and be like, yeah, that tastes pretty good. We're good with it.
I
think this is going to be curated.
But okay, you know what was pretty universally meh? Blackened Willett.
Okay, they did not, but they.
I don't know. All I'm saying is that was another celebrity bourbon Willett.
It was, but not with older rye.
How much
older
actual,
than dirt?
How much
bourbon?
Actual 19-year bourbon do you think is in this?
Oh,
if it's not $500 retail, I'm guessing droplets.
Yes. No, I agree. I agree with that.
I'm going to tell you,
But
this is going to be.
I would argue
90% 5-year rye. 9%.
No.
9.9%.
There's 5%.
8-year. I don't even think it's 5%.
It might not be 5. It might be 2.
I think. First of all, first of all, if it's not extremely limited, 19-year bourbon is going to have a very small angel share as it is, so it's going to have to be a bulk of that rye.
The viscosity, though.
Yeah.
Did I use that word right?
Yeah.
The tannins.
Viscosity is like the mouthfeel, like the oiliness.
No, sorry, I meant the tannins. The oak.
Yeah.
Influence.
Sure.
19. I would argue, okay, that there's very good possibility that Willett isn't like releasing like crazy honey barrels on that, a larger stock.
100% would say they're not going to be releasing honey barrels.
100%.
Oh.
Hello.
All right, we're back. So before we moved on, I wanted to say that, if it is an over oaked situation, a 2 to 3% introduction into those ryes, I think would help it with an oak influence on 5 and 8-year-old ryes.
I honestly just don't think it's gonna. First of all, I do like Willett Rye. I think Willett Rye, though, has been pretty polarizing of late. There have been some people that don't like that. Some of them are kind of dillish. When I was on Matt Madness, the Willett Rye I had was straight garbage. I think that these are going to be already priced high because they're putting on it that it's 19-year bourbon, even though there's going to be a nominal amount in there.
Yeah.
It is going to be.
It's a celebrity brand.
It's going to be celebrity brand. It's going to be bought up like nobody's business because of the Willett aspect of it. Yeah. But you could
easily see 250 price point on that.
On the retail?
Yes.
I bet it's a $250 price point.
Yeah.
And I think people buy them and immediately try to sell them for $600-700. And I think it is going to be when you taste it.
It could get more, though, because a lot of people are going to be hanging on to it, especially if they're fans.
Nah, I don't know. I don't know. Also, if it's as low percentage of the 19-year that I'm predicting, there could be a lot of this whiskey.
Oh, yes.
If it is predominantly the 6-year rye, I think it could be a lot in the market.
Yeah.
It also says they're partnering. I don't know. Who's to say that the 19-year is from the Willett stocks and it's not just from some barrel broker that like there's a partnership? Is that maybe they're only getting one of the ryes from them? Maybe some of the other ryes, MGP, maybe there's a lot of unknowns before I say.
It doesn't matter if there's a single
it's going to sell
Willett
out
influence. It's done. And
that's, I think a lot of that has to do with the Willett lore and the purple tops and all the fun and the crazy high price points.
Yeah.
But I will say, a lot of the more recent, even like single barrels that I've had from Willett, the quality to me of what's been coming out has decreased. I think that they have the lore, they have the definitely the imagery to make people go crazy. Well, but I just don't think the quality lives up to what they command.
Devil's advocate here is that single barrels have a lot of influence. We obviously haven't tasted all of Willett's single barrels.
Sure.
So the ones that you have could be leaning you towards that position.
However,
it might not be
the
as
younger
a whole.
stuff that's their distillate, especially in the bourbon category, has lost some of its luster to me. Especially because people are still paying for 5-6 years, 7-year bourbon, $500, $600, $700, $800. It's absurd. And so it's kind of have this kind of a little bit of a turnoff of like, that is not worth it. What people are paying. People are paying $100 a year effectively on bourbon, on purple top bourbons. That's not worth it. Right. It's not it is definitely not that good. And so, but what you're going to see is a celebrity bourbon. They're going to slap the name on it and it's going to sell out. And then people are going to try to flip it and it's going to go crazy.
Totally.
And so I'm just skeptical of a celebrity bourbon pairing with the celebrity whiskey.
I could see the 19-year-old coming from another place. Andrew Bolin says Dickel. I don't know. We
don't
know.
No, he's just being funny. He said,
I know. I'm just really, yes. I'm not aware that Dickel even remotely, I mean, if they lost 17-year-old barrels, there's zero chance they find 19-year-old barrels.
No.
You know what I mean?
It was a cluster over there.
Oh, it was a freaking cluster. All right.
They were still writing
last
down
news item. We got to get to it. Last news item. I really like this news item.
Oh, yeah. This is a fun one.
Now, here's the deal. Everybody knows that this is being released. It's already hit everywhere.
Yeah.
People know about it. There's reviews coming out about it and publications that got, media samples. However, I want to focus on the details of this release. Go ahead, Will.
Okay. So this is the Kings of Leon. No, I'm just kidding. This is we saw the TTB label come out on this, so that's what you're referencing. A lot of people were already talking about it, but this is the Russell's Reserve single Rickhouse release. So essentially what they're doing is they're taking the Rickhouse C at Camp Nelson, which is famous for producing some of the greatest single barrels that have come out of Russell's Reserve.
Yep.
They're taking this, and it's going to be an ongoing collection. They're calling it a limited collection. It's going to be a yearly drop of this, and it's and there is inferences that maybe it's not always Rickhouse C each year.
Well,
that they
it can't be. They tore it down. It was crap.
They tore. Oh, yeah. It fell
That's
apart.
what he literally went in there,
right.
and was sampling all of these barrels.
Yeah.
Prior to that thing being freaking torn down, and he's like, these are stupid.
Yeah. So they're going to that proves the point exactly. You're right. Is that it will be the single Rickhouse collection will then sample from different ones.
Right. They're going to start off with a bang. Apparently, he found those things.
72 prime barrels that Eddie Russell got, and they made the whiskey. It's 56.2%, so that's 112.4% proof.
And if you think that you're going to be able to ISO this, Will, tell us where this is going to be released.
Well, first of all, the SRP is,
according to sources,
$250.
Right.
So it's
here's the deal. I will pay
point.
If Eddie goes up in there, or whatever Russell. I don't even care if it's Ned, Ted, Billy Bob. If they go in there and they say these barrels are like honey barrels that we just tasted, I'm going to pay $250 with a wild turkey name backing it at least once. At least once. Now, I can't wait for a single long branch that they release for $300. That's my favorite. The single long branch. Yeah, but we already have. Yeah, we. It's not. Is
it not? I mean,
it's not. I'm pretty sure it's not. All right.
Limited time only, and only offered in California, Florida, Texas, and Colorado.
That's 4 freaking states.
Yeah.
And you know what's not on there, Will?
Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky.
Well, I mean, yeah,
I'm just saying Georgia.
I was going to focus on Kentucky.
No, I was going to say Georgia.
God's green earth wild turkey distribution centers.
Georgia, a lot of times though, gets those 100%. Early release. That's why I said Georgia.
That is an odd one.
Tennessee, because we live here in Kentucky, because it's obvious that it's missing.
So good luck, ISO. Let me go ahead and tell you something. I have been considering getting a vacation home in Florida. Now, what does that look like? It could be a pod in somebody's backyard. That's what I'm looking. I would probably hunt in Florida for this.
Florida's a terrible place to hunt.
I know.
It's gonna be Florida.
But if you're getting
Florida was
25% to keep the numbers, if you're getting 25% of the stock though, out of like 70 something barrels, wasn't it?
Very large state. Very large state.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, I'm saying it's not going to be an easy place to find it. It's 3 giant states: Texas, Florida, and California. So you think about, and then Colorado is a random one. I don't know why Colorado's getting it, but we're going to have to get Ty Gallenbeck or Chris Propokiak or one of our buddies.
Chris always finds it.
Yeah.
He's like, man, I got to lead on this. I got to lead on that. I'm like,
yeah, Drew Bull and I agree with you. Drew says that Florida is worse than Alabama to hunt. It's awful. Florida is an awful place to go try to find whiskey.
Although the only time I found Rock Hill Farms at retail was in Florida
6 years ago.
Fair.
Right. Does not exist anymore. Well, also because all the
stores still stay.
Florida was so late to the game kind of in bourbon that it now all the stores are like charging secondary prices on stuff. Like I walked in and saw a Four Roses when I was at the beach last year, LE. And I was like, how much? And if it was like $400, I would have considered it. And they're like $850. I'm like, y'all I'm like, y'all are just stupid. And so, but whatever, I don't care. They can charge whatever they want. I just didn't buy it. Then
you're saying this is stupid.
Yeah.
Not y'all are stupid.
Well, I'm like, y'all are kind of stupid. That's for Four Roses LE. I feel like that's kind of a stupid price point. But that was my economic analysis of it. But also the fact is that Total Wine is really big in Florida, and ABC is a big chain. It's not ABC like alcoholic beverage control, but it's a big chain in Florida. And between the two of those mega stores, they are going to get, I would guess, 90% of all the bottles that go there. And as we know, Total Wine has their ridiculous club that you get
I think that's high, but yes.
I think I do not. That's high. The majority of there's biggest
way too many
stores.
There's just way too many stores in big cities in Florida. That's my issue.
No, but I'm just saying
Miami, Tampa, Orlando.
I'm saying the big volume stores in those cities are Total Wine and ABC. They're statewide stores. It's a statewide chain. They're humongous. And they both have clubs where you have to pay like certain dollars amount gets you into like they call it the vault with Total Wine. If you get into the vault, then you get a selection of a few things. I don't think other than those retailers that have clubs, I don't think there's going to be a lot of stumbling into stores and seeing those. So I don't think the hunting, that's why it's hard to hunt there because the big stores have those clubs and they corral them all. You get into the vault after you spend a certain amount of money. And a lot of times you get in the vault and it's like Weller Special Reserve. If you haven't spent a ton of money, you haven't gone on or you're down the list. So it's not a good place to go and think.
Or they're flexing like you get planned.
Right. No, but that is part of what goes into the vault. So I don't think that you're going to have those opportunities to hunt because it's loyalty programs and it's actually hard to really score good bottles in those states as well. So I think it's interesting. I don't like the $249 price point on it. I get it because they're saying it's the end of Camp Nelson. It's 72 prime barrels. It's limited edition, but I just feel like it's a high price point for it. I wish it was like 150. I wish it was kind of along the lines of the Masters Keep series. The bottle is just a standard,
whatever Russell went up in there. They were
standard
like,
Russell's looking bottle with like a bluish green, grayish label on it with the gold lettering. But also here's the thing: the first Russell's 13 was pretty hit or miss with people. The one of the Russell's 2000 and something, I forget which one it was, but was pretty polarizing and over oaked. Their limited editions to me are not what shines with Wild Turkey products. Their better products to me are the more available ones that are readily available. I don't think
some single barrels.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of concerned about a 250 SRP limited edition single rick house. So it's a blend, which is it's actually theoretically better to me.
And by the time, if I have a feeling it's going to be incredible, I do. I have a hunch.
I hope it is. I hope we get to try it.
You got a credible brand. It's not like Rabbit Hole freaking coming out with a limited release.
Yeah.
I have so much more faith in this and the faith that faith in the people that picked it. But
I guess, but that's what I'm trying to say is that some of the other Russell's limited releases, I didn't turn out great for me.
Yeah. Which is fine. And here's the deal though, Will, if it doesn't do well, let me go ahead and tell you, they're already all gone anyway. Doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah. That, to be clear, the price point is not absurd for where we are. I just don't like the price point. I don't like 100%. That this 250. I completely understand. It will be gone. They'll sold out. They could have probably put $500 on that, and this Russell's release would have been incredible. I will say, I will not. If I see it at retail, I'll buy it. I don't know that I'm not going to pay. I'm not going to pay north of that.
I mean, you're going to have to fly to a state that sells it.
Okay, I go to Florida often. My sister lives in Texas.
You do. Your friends in Colorado. Calves
I'm going to Colorado in October. So I mean, there's all sorts of opportunities that are theoretically at my disposal.
8x up, baby.
If it's as readily available, just hunting as Greeze says it is going to be. Yeah. But that's all I'm saying is that this is not one that if someone's like, hey, 500, it's yours, I'm not going to spend that on it. And I don't disagree with them.
I'd be curious enough if I had the opportunity to purchase one. Let's just say it's at $450. I would trim the fat on my bourbon budget for a couple of months to get it.
It's so cute that you always say you'd trim the fat. What that means is you try to make me be like, oh yeah, let's get this for the show. Let's get this for the show.
No, I pay for stuff all the time personally.
No. That's what I'm saying. You'll move the stuff you normally pay for personally to let's get this for the show. Get this for the show. I'm like, why are we all saying? Well, because I bought this $450 bottle. So I got to shift over here. It's a shell game with you.
I want you to know that I bought 4 bottles.
Hey, Drew, if
personal money, and then I said, whatever bottles you decide that we want to buy for the company,
Drew,
I'm a
if it is if we find one for $5.50, you, me, and Grease split it 3 ways
100%.
and we'll down it with some
We're a
buddies.
huge. I advocate for that.
Yeah.
Not advocate. That's a weird way of saying that.
You push for
I
it.
think-
You advocate for it.
Yeah,
don't know.
I
There's
think
nothing wrong with
that's a
word.
really great thing when everybody's just like, oh, I can't afford that. You can figure
Get
out
some
how
people,
to.
yeah, get some people together and have a good time with it.
Get you 10 guys. Everybody can have like, 2.5 ounces.
Yeah,
And you're done.
I would pay for the expensive bottle with buddies to make
100%.
the memory.
Dude,
But
if you
not
pay
just to, not to have it.
if you pay $25, okay, to get 2.5 ounces, that's fun. Especially if you're with all 10 people, either digitally online or you're all together and you just decide to build a fire.
That's a solid.
You
solid
build a
investment.
fire this fall. Freaking pour that thing up. Everybody gets a couple ounces in their glass.
Have a palate warmer or two, then have the good whiskey,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
move
yeah,
on
yeah,
to
come on.
mediocre stuff.
What's your
again.
palate warmer right now? Sidebar.
Oh, so I got a handle of Eagle Rare that we've been crushing on. I got it from
And we say that?
Yeah.
Copy.
uh-huh.
I didn't know if you had another like cat or something.
No, I don't have any cats. My face puffs up real bad.
Really?
I'm very allergic to cats.
Really?
Oh, so allergic.
Yeah.
I had one for 21 years.
You have a cat aversion?
No, I love animals of all shapes and sizes. I just have a cat allergy.
Oh, an allergy. Yeah. Do you know that a cat can take down a bridge, like with the vibrations in their paws? Pretty sure that's real.
That sounds like something you learned in pre-first.
Yeah.
All right, folks, that's all of our news items for this week. We're not going to get to 15.
No, it's not
This was super fun. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hey, make sure you tune in next Monday night, 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 Eastern, for the very first ever Barn Night live on video, not live in person. It's edited, but we're premiering it. It's going to be a blast. We're filming that in 2 days. So if, Lord willing and the creek don't rise, as long as Greeze doesn't have his spleen taken out on Wednesday, I think we'll probably be there. But knowing his track record, something will happen. So that's the plan. Next week, this same place, we'll do Barn Night live for everyone.
I just have to remember to hit record on the cameras. You're going to have to help me do that.
It's not, that would be a funny joke if it weren't so raw still.
Right.
But,
it's pretty raw.
So let's just remember to do that. Hey, subscribe to the channel. Give us a thumbs up. We appreciate it. Grease, thanks for holding down the fort last week while I was on vacation.
I didn't hold down anything.
And I appreciate Matt Porter for being subjected to torture live on the internet. But he does Matt Madness 2 years in a row, so he's used to that. Thank you, everyone. Go ahead and join our barrel program at oakandthieves.com. OAK and A&D. It's all just spelled out. Oakandthieves.com.
Yeah. We got like 4 barrels available right
you
now.
You can go ahead and get. There's some really, really good.
If you limp in
Starlights.
Let's just say for $1. You can't do $1. Was it 15?
Yeah.
You can pay $15 and get like 4 single barrels mailed to your home.
Yeah.
Right now.
Go for it.
Oakandthieves.com.
And just click the posts and see what's available. There are links already there. Join today. You can do it. Also, if you just want to support the channel, you're not interested in the single barrels, patreon.com/the podcast is how you support me and Grease directly. And all that, we don't know Jack,
but we'll drink it. And
Drew Bolin, thank you for the super chat, Night Fellas. I think that's his chip in on that expensive bottle we're buying. So
that's a low ball chip in, if that's the chip in.
Yeah.
Because
he also, by the way,
several reasons I won't get into.
He's an Oak and Thieves member, and he just said they're all very solid pours. So if you're watching one of the, I know all 103 of you that are watching right now are not Oak and Thieves members. So if some of you are not, you should go ahead and join that oakandthieves.com.
What if they all wear it? That'd be super funny. Okay.
No, I'm looking at Matt Porter. He's not. So I know 100% is not.
Oh yeah.
And
do you know that I get notifications when Matt joins like a Patreon?
It's weird.
It's hilarious.
Oh.
He gets so bad. I screenshot. I was like, "Hey man, you gonna go support this or whatever? You diving in?" And he's like, "I hate this. Why do they do that?"
So funny.
It's really fun. He looks so good, dude.
Oh yeah,
He looks incredible. Proud of you, Matt. Proud of you.
All right, folks. We're going to do a quick after party.
Yeah, we're going to do a quick after party real quick, and then we're going to do a couple videos. We'll see you in the after party. If you want to get the after party, patreon.com/thepodcast. We'll see you in a minute.